It's the one and only Kev X. Welcome back to the Kev X channel. This is your boy Kev X. And today we are going to talk about fresh and fit demonetized. Can you believe it? I can. With all the trials and tribulations that fresh and fit has went through, it has finally come to a head. And this leaves it to wonder, is the red pill, the RP movement, manosphere, is it pretty much coming to an end with Fresh and Fit? Is this the end of a era? I mean, that's basically what they were alluding to within their emergency meeting, although they're trying to get things resolved. But um, yeah, I'm not necessarily, in my opinion, I'm not shocked that it happened with Fresh and Fit. I'm more so shocked that they lasted this long without true negative repercussions that are coming their way. Because obviously they've had a lot of different drama that's happened and a different beef from Abba and Preach, which is still ongoing with their beef. They haven't ended that at all. That's still a thing. You know, I watched this, guys. I felt like I was watching a TV show because I couldn't help but to get the notifications that Fresh and Fit was in another situation. Fresh and Fit, Fresh and Fit, Fresh and Fit. That's all I saw. Excuse me, in my timeline. So, um, it's definitely it's not necessarily shocking because at the end of the day, you have to understand that this platform that we are currently using, and me myself, is owned by a left leaning corporation such as Google. So when you're dealing with the leftists or the left coast, they're not going to be too keen over the idea of uplifting men and men's viewpoints on, you know, uh, having issues with women to that degree. I mean, they're just going to write this off as misogynistic hate speech. I mean, that's pretty much what they do in this realm of things. And, you got to understand the pattern of the type of hosts, the reoccurring hosts that they had on the platform, such as Andrew Tate, Sneeko, just to name a few. Those are some of their reoccurring guests, but those are also people who got deplatformed. Um, so it was only a matter of time. Now, I did see some of the video, and they were saying that they are currently working with YouTube to see if they can help with getting monetized back. I mean, there's different conspiracy theories where they're saying that, this is a way for them to get more clout, and somehow, some way that they're just doing this to um, get more followers, and this is part of their scheme. Nothing can, yeah, and that's the thing I hate about this modern era. Nothing can just be as it is. That a unfortunate account took place, but it's always got to be a some type of conspiracy. It just can't be. It is what it is. It's always got to be an extra bit of drama to it, or a plot twist, I should say. Which I highly doubt that's the case. I mean, after me watching the video, it looked like Myron was really hurt by this. I mean, he even walked off camera and started crying. I mean, I believe his name is, what is it? Fresh. He, you could tell he wanted to react, and he kind of caught himself from crying, but he stayed pretty much a stoic. So, my thoughts on it is, there's things that I like that Fresh and Fit, they make some good points, but then other points I disagree with. I would be lying if I said that I agree 100% with everything that they say, but I'd also be lying if I said that, oh, they're 100% wrong when it comes to the female and male dynamics. That's just simply not true, because they do make valid points when it comes to the space of trying to improve young men that are up and coming, that are having a lot of issues with women today in this modern era with modern technology and the tenders of the world and everything else that goes with um, causing an issue amongst male and female. So I definitely can respect them in that regard. But I also witnessed that there was a lot of envelope pushing too, that you're pushing it to the limit to the point where, you're getting kind of beside yourself, that you have to remember where you're at, which is on YouTube, which is censors city. They're trying to remove you for any type of thing that's even hints at what looks to be misogynistic or hate speech and things of that sort, or things that even question the idea of the alphabet people that are, basically in a nutshell, putting sugar in your tank, to put it simply, for a lack of better words, I should say. But, you know, they really, they try to maintain the super controversial and, to be known as the throwing chicks out. And, it was definitely something that was new in comparison to a lot of the podcasts that was out there. They brought something unique to the marketplace of podcasts for the entertainment value, which I got that. But, there's certain things that I know that YouTube is not a fan of. I mean, you got to understand, back in 2017, they had the ad apocalypse with the situation that happened with Logan Paul, where he did something with, controversial. I think it has something to do with suicide, something along them lines. So, ever since then, it's never been the same when you can just upload and, it's true, quote unquote, free speech, as much as they would like to pose it as that. But we know that the Google Corporation, as I said earlier, they have an agenda, and they want certain things to be, certain ideologies, I should say, to be pushed out there and suppress other information or other viewpoints, which it's not fair. I disagree with it wholeheartedly, but there's ways that you can move more effectively to still get your point across and to get your message out there without sacrificing your own morals and principles. But there's a way that you can say the same thing. As this old saying goes, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Because I can still make my point, even right now as we're on the live, that I'm completely against the agenda with feminizing men and defeminizing women, but I can say it in a way that's more elegantly, so that it's more palatable for people to digest it and give a balanced view. Because the one thing that, like I said, I can respect about Myron and Fresh, their mission, the overall arching thing that they're trying to improve young men, but at the same time, some of their ideologies are a bit extreme. There's certain things that I've witnessed that they said that I disagree with. Not all. I just still respect that their whole setup and their other viewpoints, but in other regards, it's just like, just wasn't necessary. I mean, you could have left that one out. But I get it. They're trying to get the viral hits. They're trying to get, the overall clicks, which worked. I mean, you can't lie and say that, it wasn't effective with drawing attention towards their podcast, because it worked. I mean, these guys definitely attracted and garnered a lot of attention around their name, but it came at an expense. And so I don't know moving forward, because it could have been worse. They could have actually been deplatformed altogether. I think this is just like a little light tap on them to say that, hey, if this happens again, you gotta reevaluate how you go about uploading your live, because they're gonna demonetize you, obviously, because they could have did you like Andrew Tate and Sneeko and completely removed you off of all social media platforms and cut off your supply as far as with receiving payment, cut off all your payment processes. I remember when I was watching Tate, he was saying that he couldn't even create an account on Uber. Like, that's taking it a whole nother level of control and eliminating our right to, in the United States, of free speech, which is, I think that's totally wrong, which technically it could have been a lot worse for Fresh and Fit, and I'm actually glad that it didn't get to that point. Like an Andrew Tate or Sneeko, they still have the opportunity to deliver the content. They're just not going to get paid for the time being on YouTube's dime. But you know, to their defense, they do try to upload other content that is not just talking about female and male dynamics and dating and all these hoes and 304s and this, that, and the third. They do try to upload, they slide it in there for investments and business and things of that sort, to their credit. So I think that they're smart guys. I think that they understand how to move effectively. And I think that there will be a semi pivot. But if they were smart, I'm pretty sure that they're not completely broke. You know what I'm saying? Like and after this situation with demonetizing that, they had other investments in the background. I would hope that it wouldn't affect them to that degree, and they can pivot, try to give out courses, or, I know they got the one-on-one coaching just like myself. I have coaching, that link is in the description. If anybody wants to a one-on-one coaching in order to help them to become a better version. And, I'm not biased. That goes for male and female, because I think that we're better as a unit than we are separate. So it makes perfect sense for women and males to be together. And I think that's where Fresh and Fit can rub a lot of people the wrong way, is because they are for females and, male and female being together, but their points can be go over people's heads, because they have a tendency to go on the extreme spectrum, telling guys like have sex with 50 women in order before you can find the one. I mean, I understand as far as exploring your options, but do we really need to have sex with 50 women, these young men? I mean, honestly, did we forget that venereal diseases still exist? It's still a thing that hasn't been eradicated. There's no vaccine for that. So that's the only thing that if I had to give a critique, that their ideologies can be a bit extreme, more extreme than what is necessary. But I also know how YouTube works, and I also know how people want to see something exciting. They want to root for the winning team, so they gotta let it be known on it. And sometimes you got to be a little bit extreme and be polarizing in order to get your point across. I get it, because I take a strong stance. I'm not about to mince my words to that degree where I'm about to tuck my tails and make myself seem as though, I'm a docile individual, because I'm not. I'm going to stand on what I say, but I try to be as respectful as possible. But if it needs to get to that, I will go there. But, in most cases, I'm open to have a conversation and share the perspective and see where this person is coming from and see it from their shoes. And hopefully I can pour into them some type of value where they can benefit from it. And I think that's where people, where they get lost in translation with their message, is because sometimes it's not the most palatable or the most tolerable way that people can digest it, because, like Myron, he's a straight shooter. He's going to get straight to the point. He's going to tell you, you're dumb, you're a 304. And some people, I can respect straight shooters, but I know when you're dealing with females and they're dealing with their emotions, and especially when you're talking to women from Miami, you what do you expect? I mean, did you really expect that you to have a scholar level conversation and really open up a mind of a thought? I mean, honestly, like it's to be expected, but it goes with the theme. He proves his point as far as with the modern women and how they want to turn up, and hot girl summer and all that. They're trying to bust it down, which they make it known. I mean, but again, it's not always what you say, it's how you go about it. And I personally think the reason why they was demonetized, and I don't even think it had anything to do with the female necessarily and the kicking chicks off and all that. I think it has something to do with the YouTube viewing of him cracking jokes at what's his face name, Abba and Preach, with not so much talking about his wife, but putting the role with the KKK and all that. I understand for shock value, but at the same time, you gotta understand how you operate. There's certain things, if you know for a fact that at the end of the day that you are still dependent on a platform, you have to move accordingly and be strategic with how you go about it. Because if this is your main supply of income, it's almost like you have to use warlike tactics, which is to basically feed somebody so much where it's tough enough to digest, or how should I say, it's tender enough for them to digest, but it's not too soft to the point where you can't digest it, or it's too hard, I should say. It's not too soft, but it's not too hard. It's just right where it's just like, you know what? I can see your point. And I understand that there's certain women who come on his podcast and they can't see it from their point of view. And they say, you know what? I never thought about that. Because that's what you ultimately want. You want to have the conversation steered in your direction where they can say, you know what? I never thought about that. If you can get somebody to say that and they say that, man, you really changed my perspective from what I thought originally, that's when you know that you are doing something right. And we got a comment that says, sorry for the comment. What was the comment? I don't see anything as far as what from KC. But yeah, I mean, if you can do that, you can make somebody really think. Because that's essentially what you're doing when you're talking to females, is that, their brains, the way that a woman's brain, they're thinking about a lot of different ideas at one time. So if you can get them to follow a certain line of thinking and allow them to think it through and feel as though they came to a aha moment, like the light bulb just went off, they're like, wait a minute. That's crazy. Like, you mean to tell me that I've been doing this wrong? And you mean to tell me that I ain't supposed to be doing it? This ain't natural and I'm a hoe? Like, no, I don't want that. You mean to tell me I'm not going to get a husband and have a family unit and all of that? Like, if you could start getting them connecting the dots of understanding, like, no, this ain't the way to go. If you do that, you're not going to. Like, I've seen certain episodes, but then I've seen other episodes where it was just like, man, that was unnecessary. Like, it was just totally, you didn't even have to say that to prove your point. So, I don't know, because when it comes to the demonetization, there's a possibility that they may be able to come back from this. But I think that this will act as a warning to help them to see that at the end of the day, you have to be very mindful, because I know that they were very big on censoring their words and not using certain things so that, because YouTube is sensitive. But again, with the antics, obviously these corporations are cahoots with each other, such as YouTube, Google, Facebook, Instagram. They're watching your content, especially when you got a significant amount of people tuning in to watch your content. So obviously they are watching in the background. So even if you go over to Rumble, because I know in the video they were talking about going over to Rumble and, posting exclusive content, but this is the internet. This is wide open for anybody to view. You would have to be completely naive into believing that they're not watching your content on other platforms, yet alone, as much as people share your content because you have such a big fan base, obviously they're going to record it and share it somewhere else. Whether that means back to YouTube, it's going to get back. Especially when you got all them eyeballs to that degree, because people don't understand that, when you get so big, you get a whole bunch of love, but you also get a whole bunch of hate at the same time, depending on what your topic is talking about. And the type of topics that they're talking about, you're gonna get some extreme hate. They're gonna take it to a whole nother level of trying to get you kicked off. So you got to find that happy medium. I'm not saying completely kiss somebody's butt, because I'm not for that as far as completely submitting to the agenda of what they're trying to do, which is pervert society. But there's a saying, even in the Bible, season words are better when it's what is it called? I think it goes. Words are better when they're seasoned with salt. You gotta make them taste it. Make them, make it feel good, but not feel good in the sense of where you're lying and you're just telling them pleasant lies too. Like, no, I disagree with that aspect as well. So again, you got to find that happy medium. That's really what it comes down to. You got to find that happy medium, because I understand it can be difficult, and it's obvious that this affected him because my man was on the verge of crying. It was tough, or some may say that he did cry because that's why he ran off camera, and now they're trying to make fun of him and stuff like that. Like, no, I mean, if this is somebody's livelihood, that's totally out of line to try to kick a man down when he's low, all because you have a personal bias against him because there's certain things that you didn't like what he said. And see, and that's the twisted part about society is, they always want to act as though they're so moral and upright, but then turn around and do the most disrespectful and low thing towards another human being. And that's what I'm saying. This whole self-righteous, fake, phony facade and, the fake outrage on the internet, it kills me with that garbage. And I'm a realist at the end of the day. I'm not going to phony kick it with you. I'm not going to pretend, but I'm also not going to try to disrespect you blatantly. I give everybody off the gate respect and try to, because I would want somebody to do the same for me. I don't want that type of energy off front. I'm going to try to give you the benefit of the doubt to get a better understanding of where you are, what angle are you coming from. So, and I think everybody's deserving of that, and fresh and fit. They're human at the end of the day, and and that's why it kills me is that people try to put microscopes on people, when they start talking logic and reason, and it's just like, oh, what you think you're perfect? Anytime you start to talk in the aspects of logic and reason, and it starts to question their own way of reasoning. Now they go to their personal bias or extreme to say, well, you think that you're perfect, when everybody knows that. Well, everybody doesn't know this, but correction doesn't mean perfection. So you don't have to be perfect in order to correct the issue. And that's what kills me with people is once they are corrected, they don't want to correct the issue. And that's the problem, is because you call them out on something that they themselves know is true, but they don't want to fix it. They want to remain the same. And that's the problem that I have with society, with the whole internet space, all of it as a whole, that it doesn't benefit anyone. I mean, it is basically just creates a circle jerk of just nonsense. Nobody wins. And that's why here at the KevX channel, we're here to win. We're here to find solutions. We're not here to just make complaints and wallow in our sorrows. And that's why, and the individuals that do need help and trying to find them to a certain path and they're just lost, I say, hey, book a consultation. I can help you. That's one thing that I have mastered at was trying to have an understanding and framework to get me to my goal and be confident and clear in my thoughts with doing that. But, all in all, I wish Fresh and Fit the best. You know, I don't wish anything worse upon them. I hope they can get it sorted out. And for the individuals that are taking this opportunity to look down on them, um, I think that that's wrong. Even if you disagree with them, I personally think that that's not right. And individuals who carry on in that manner, it's only a matter of time until something crumbles in their life, and then they have a recollection and realize that, dang, you know, I got problems too. But then you got other individuals that are just completely delusional, that they're just so entrenched with the idea of drama that this feuds them. So I understand that, you know, both aspects of two different people. That you got the ones that love the drama, and then you got the ones that um, have to come to Jesus moment to get an understanding that, you know, I got issues too. You know, so that's my thoughts. I think I'm just going to end it here. And don't forget to comment, subscribe, and like the Kevin channel. I'm going to see y'all in the next video. Peace.